Hello, UMass. I'm your host, Christine Squalia, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of UMass Yak Back. Today we have a great show planned. We're going to be talking about, first off, political situation now. I know the news is full of it, so we're going to talk about some of it. And then we're going to talk about the World Series and baseball and other stuff related to that. Yeah, I don't really know, but neither do they. So then we're going to end it off with a nice little sweet treat and talk about Kit Kats. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Yackers. First off, we're going to start the night off with political now. We're going to talk about multiple different topics. I'm here with my lovely panelists. We have Jack, Bernsey, and Lee. So let's start it off. One thing that happened this week was the Dakota Access Pipeline, or everyone was in Dakota. So, Jack, can you tell us more? What happened?
So from what I've heard, isn't that pipeline going to go from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to Canada?
We don't really know. None of us are educated on the topic. What happened in your news feeds this past week?
In my news feeds, in regards to politics in general?
In regards to the Dakota pipeline?
Oh, nothing at all. I only first heard about it 10 minutes before we started the show.
Okay, we're gonna switch over to Lee. And what have you heard about the Dakota Access Pipeline?
So basically, from what I understand it, there was a rumor going around that the police were using like Facebook check-ins or whatever to track the protesters that were like at the place that they already knew they were at, and so people in protest and solidarity, I guess, were like checking in at that location, and then supposedly the department said we weren't doing that, and that's unsubstantiated. I don't really know. I'm hearing this like third hand. But all I do know is that I kept seeing people checking in and saying, "Oh, support the people." So
I agree. I think that's what happened. Yeah. Bernsey, did you specifically check in or care about the subject matter?
No. Yeah. I think it's like one of those things we keep hearing thrown out, but like who's actually following it? I'm not really sure. I think. What did it have to do? What are they protesting? I think it had
like Native American land.
Something to do with Native American land. So students are protesting it, and that's a common theme, I guess. And there was one, I forget what it was called, but there was one protest where like the actual Native Americans were protesting, and they used like violence against them. So it's just kind of a common theme, but none of us are really seem to be paying attention to it.
Police brutality.
Yeah. Well, I didn't pay attention to it really that much either. What are you going to do?
The segment should just be how
we're
just ignorant.
On another note, something we did actually pay attention to, the Obamas threw a Halloween party. Yay.
Yeah, I definitely paid attention to that.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention.
Well, me and Bernsey did. Bernsey, what'd you see? What was some notable occurrences at the Obama Halloween party?
So they opened up the White House. I don't know if it was like the first time they did it on Halloween, but people could trick or treat, and they had like a party. And I saw like a video of it, like Obama was like meeting the kids and singing, and there was one kid who was dressed as Obama, and like Obama, and he dyed his hair gray, and Obama goes, "I'm not that gray yet." So it was just a good interchange, and the kids were really happy to meet him. So
I think it's great that everyone gets a chance to go to the White House. But Jack, what do you think about potential safety concerns this might happen, or do you think it's a good thing, just fun times at the White House?
I'd say it's definitely a cute thing to have kids going to the White House. It like reminds me of this Arthur episode where Arthur and his family go to the White House and they meet President Bill Clinton, because that's when it was made. And as for safety, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard that they a reduced the amount of tours they give of the White House now. I could be wrong.
Even give tours anymore.
Because I think it's kind of a situation like that, because as soon as some potential terrorist or murderer hears that, they're gonna have a Halloween party and be like, okay, son, you're gonna go into the White House. You're gonna take this little white capsule and put it into the punch bowl, and then you offer it to Mr. Obama.
Well, hopefully not.
Well, it didn't happen. Halloween's over.
Yeah, so I guess it's good it went off without a hitch. Lee, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
I don't know. I just think it's a weird concept, envisioning, the kids, they run up to the door, right? So, there had to be, a line at the gate of, little kids getting patted down by Secret Service. That's just... You shouldn't have to get patted down to go trick-or-treating, but then again, they have to take security measures. It's just a very confusing thing. I don't know. That's weird.
Well, we also have to say goodbye to the Obamas pretty soon, as Tuesday is Election Day. What's something you guys are going to miss or not miss about the Obamas?
I think it's funny because I look at all the YouTube comments. That's where I get my news. And everybody loves Obama now, or not loves, but it used to be this thing where kind of people hated him, and there was the thanks Obama thing where people would say kind of bad things he did and sarcastically say thanks Obama. But I think honestly we're realizing, at least for me, and I think I speak for myself, but also I think a lot of other people, that he's definitely better than the two alternatives in my opinion, and people are just realizing he's been pretty solid. He hasn't done anything special. He didn't do all the hope and the change that he promised, but he's been just a solid candidate.
Yeah, he's a nice B plan. He got it done.
Oh, didn't he mention that if Hillary, one of the candidates, were to get ill, they would postpone the election? Because this was back when Hillary got ill on 9/11. And I don't know if I'd miss him that much. I mean, given that I know the financial crisis of 2007 happened before he took office, but 2% GDP growth a year following such an economic collapse is nothing to celebrate. I mean, you hear all the time about how college students struggle to find work when they get out of school. And it's been 8 years since Obama took office and it hasn't gotten better for us. So to that I say, no, I don't think he was that good.
Thanks,
but Osama bin
Thanks,
Laden,
Obama.
Jack.
Well, yes.
Osama bin Laden.
Well, yeah, the morning I heard...
They got him.
The morning I
We
heard
got
that
him.
Osama died, I played party music. And Obama also defended net neutrality. I appreciate him for that. I truly do.
Well, speaking of him leaving, though, we do have something coming up on Tuesday, which...
and what's that?
I think that might be Election Day.
What's an election?
Well, so we have to vote between a reality TV star with some crazy cheese doodle hair and this just unlikable principal looking lady that probably would have yelled at us in middle school.
Oh no, I wasn't a huge fan of principals in my day.
But
Me neither.
to be fair, I think she has solid options. She's like Obama,
I think she's an extension of Obama, but a lot less charismatic. She's a less likable Obama. And so that's kind of the decision versus the reality star.
Yeah.
There's kind of a part of me, I don't like Trump. I think he's going to be dangerous, but there's a part of me that kind of would see how interesting things would be if he wins. But then the educated part of me knows you have to vote for Hillary.
That is great, but we are out of time. So we
sure.
will finish
You
this.
end it as soon as the
We
Trump
will-
vote.
It's
CNN. We're CNN here.
We will finish this on next Thursday when we have the results and can talk about it then. Join us for the next segment. We'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Obama. Welcome back, Yackers. You've made it to another lovely segment, and this time we are talking about the World Series and probably other sports, because to be honest, we don't know that much about the World Series. Here I have to talk with me, we have Nelson, Bernsey, and Sharon. So, Nelson, first let's start with a simple question. What are the rules of baseball?
Oh my. I just know a bit because I've seen baseball before. It's like some people just throw the ball at the center and somebody just hit it. And when he hit that, the other like 3/4, they need to run and they need to run and catch the ball. And then the people who throw the ball, they need to run at a circle to make a home run. I think it's like that.
That sounded like pretty accurate.
Yeah, but I don't really know what if like he didn't make a home run or what. I don't quite. I'm not sure.
Well,
Yeah.
you have the basics down for sure. And the biggest game in baseball happened last night, the World Series. Bernsey, tell us more because you actually know about it.
Yeah, so I watched it, and yes, there is a ball, and people try to hit it. That was a pretty good description. Basically, I actually don't usually watch. I don't watch all the World Series either, unless the Red Sox are in it. But what was historic about yesterday's World Series was there was one team in it that hadn't won it since 1908. So that's like 108 years, and they won it. So it's like a big celebration. And my friend actually lives in Chicago, where it happened, and they had like big like it was scary because they have riots at UMass, but it was like ×5 there, so it was crazy. Yeah.
So they rioted because they won?
Yeah, they won first time in 108 years.
Was it the Chicago Cubs?
Chicago
Is that what they're
Cubs.
called?
Yeah,
Okay.
Chicago Cubs.
I remember, I actually saw on the Facebook post, I think Bill Murray was at the baseball game, and he was just like, I think he was a fan of the Chicago Cubs, and he was just like legit smiling and crying, and then like the meme was like, you wish Bill Murray would look at you the way he like the way the Chicago Cubs won. I was like, yeah.
Well, that's great. You know, go Cubs. Congrats for winning that. But like personally, I didn't really watch it. I didn't really know about it. And I think like a lot of people in Massachusetts were like that because the Red Sox weren't in it. Do you think that, Nelson, Massachusetts is a little spoiled or selfish, only caring about our teams?
I think it's like for sports, it's like people like support their local teams a lot. Like in here, like we support like Red Sox, Patreon, and like even like UMass football team, like we support that. But if it's not like our team, I think, for my opinion, I don't really care about that because that's my team. Yeah. Basically.
Bernsey, why do you think we just don't really care as much?
Well, yeah, off of that, first of all, off of what Nelson said is, he said we care about our UMass sports teams, and I'm going to actually disagree with that. I don't think anybody does care about the football team unless we're good. It's all about
or
being
we're
good.
drinking
Yes.
before
Or we're but people go
You're
to
just there for tailgating.
People go to
Yeah.
tailgates and then leave, and like the first, like I went to one game and everybody left, and then I have to admit we left too because it's just not good.
Yeah.
So we're not good fans, and like, but in Boston we've had so many good teams that we are spoiled. So we expect our team to be in it every year, and when we're not, we're disappointed. So I can completely understand when people don't want to watch. I don't always watch. I just watched this one because it was kind of extra, all like that stuff, the historic stuff. I get
it because like it's iconic because this is the first time a team hasn't won for like 100 years because like they seem like old news, and then like of course you would want to support like Boston. You want to support the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Patriots because that's where you're from. There's no way you're just like a hardcore Cubs fan, even though you're not from that area, though.
Yeah, exactly, right. And it doesn't really make. I mean, that ultimately it makes you realize like it is sports. It's not that important. You get so into it, and the people in Chicago were so into it. Then like, and I was into it even, and I'm not even like a Chicago fan. Then I see like, oh, you guys just didn't watch. I'm like, okay, it is just a game. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
My boyfriend said it was actually a really good game. Did you specifically watch the game?
Yes. Yeah, it was. I think it was actually one of the best baseball games I've ever seen. It was just very crazy. There were a lot of lead swings, like the lead kept changing, and then it rained out, in like the 9th inning, and then so they were like, so the players were just waiting to play while it was raining, and then it just had like a wild finish, and it was definitely fun to watch.
Well, at UMass, where I feel like we drank for every event, why do you guys think there wasn't more like World Series party games?
Because are you saying like UMass sports here, or just saying like
Just like in general, like I feel like for the debates there were debate watching drinking parties, like for like
I didn't know about
Like
that.
Trump
I didn't know
say,
about
come say
that.
why,
Right.
and you drink.
Well, there was.
Yeah.
For like literally Halloween, we gotta celebrate for like a whole week. Blarney, like every excuse there is to drink, we drank. Like how come we didn't for?
I think it's like you say, it's because there weren't any of our teams. The Red Sox weren't in it, so people just don't care.
Yeah, we have more of a reaction. What was it last year when the Patriots won, right?
Yeah.
It's like people actually were trying to riot. I remember joining in and just like people trying to take down the fence, nearby ILC.
Oh, we need to take it down.
I know,
Do you
right?
think there'll be a riot on Tuesday?
I hope so.
Maybe.
Down with the Hasbrook fence.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't think there's been riots for past elections.
There
Because-
was when Osama was shot, though.
Oh, there was?
When
I
he
don't
was
know.
when Osama was shot.
Osama, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I
Not
was still
Obama.
in high school.
I don't know about that.
I know there was a huge riot when the Patriots lost in 2007, and then there was a riot when the Red Sox won a couple of years ago when the Pats won. It was actually 2 years ago, but those weren't that big. But this political election is obviously a lot different than past ones, so there definitely could be. I think if most people on the UMass campus are definitely probably for, at least against Trump. I don't know about for Clinton.
Yeah.
So I think if Clinton wins, there's not going to be. It's like just be like, okay,
We'll
he,
be like,
Yeah,
happened.
that's
just-
We were
that's what was
expecting
supposed
that.
to
Yeah.
happen.
I kind of feel like we're using that election just for the sake of having a riot.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think riots are kind of fun, so let's wait and see if we have one. Tune in next week to see if we had a riot. But don't leave yet. We have one more segment coming up. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our very last segment of this week's Yak Back. But first, give me a break, give me a break, give me a break of that Kit Kat bar. Okay, well, Sharon, would you break into a car for a Kit Kat?
Hell yes, I would. So the recent news is this guy was just walking by and he saw a car, but there was something in that car. It was a Kit Kat bar, and he decided to just like get into the car and just take the Kit Kat. He didn't take anything else, right? He just took that one sole piece, like candy bar, and he decided to just like leave a nice little note there and just like left.
How did you find out about this occurrence?
Was it your car?
Yeah, it was my car, man.
I was
Fucking took my Kit Kat bar.
I was the one who took it.
I was just saying, I saw a meme of it, actually. It was like the note, and I have no idea what it said, so I'm not even going to try, but it was like a very funny note, and then some nice little meme.
It's just
line.
like, hey, bruh, I took your Kit Kat. So, but like, thank you for it, though.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. I get all my news through memes.
So were the car
Yeah,
doors
same.
unlocked?
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
If you ask me, that seems a bit suspicious. Almost as if the car owner was leaving the Kit Kat as bait for a potential intruder.
You make it sound like the car is a trap, just
Yes.
like.
Yes, because you see, if I knew that there were robbers around, what I would do is lay a trap. I would bait the trap of like a $100 bill. As soon as the robber touches it, have like a cage drop down on top of them, then boom.
That sounds like a cartoon.
But how would one know when there are robbers around? You'd be a pretty crappy thief if you just broadcasted your presence to those around you.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't expect the trap.
But
They think they're sneaky. You got to be sneakier.
You know, like if I was the guy that like legit broke into someone's car, which I probably have, which I've done before.
what? Don't admit that on camera.
Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was
Yeah,
just, it was
yeah.
by accident.
Yeah,
but,
the police will use it as evidence.
allegedly.
We're gonna use this as an entire segment next week.
But like I would be like
Sharon's
that guy.
criminal past.
No, I would be that guy who would just like take that Kit Kat bar, because like if I'm hungry and I just see something that's like nearby, yeah, I would probably try to open that door.
Do people actually like Kit Kat bars that much?
Like,
No.
Yes.
I don't,
Well, Jack,
personally.
you
I don't know.
have poor
Okay,
taste.
So Jack, no. Lee, what do you think?
Depends on the Kit Kat bar.
Aren't they all the same?
No. Some of them are like the regular ones, but some of them are like the one bar, but it's like huge.
Ever seen the
Those
like?
things are fantastic.
Have you ever had like Japan's Kit Kat bars? They have like different flavors. Like
I actually have.
Yeah, yeah, like,
surprisingly
which one?
enough. I don't remember. I just remember it was delicious.
let me.
They have
is
like
it-
green tea flavor.
Yeah, I like
know.
green tea.
Apparently, it's very popular. But Kit Kats actually, I think, kind of were gone for a while. But I think they're making a comeback too. They're real hip and stylish with chants nowadays.
Good
Any of
I've
Kit
you
not
Kat.
seen that commercial.
Who has seen the commercial?
I haven't.
You.
No.
You have
Okay,
seen that.
all right.
Explain
So
it.
I've seen the commercial, and it is a fantastic marketing campaign. What happens is Chance the Rapper, in a bear costume, because, like, why not, goes and gets a Kit Kat and then sings the line with his beautiful voice, and it's just magical. Great.
Is Kit Kat
Great
the new
promotion.
sponsor of our show? Because I feel like we're talking so much about Kit Kats.
They should be. I'm
Yeah, they
allergic,
should
though.
fund
I
that.
used to actually be able to eat Kit Kats, and then all of a sudden, when I was like 6 or 7, they switched them to manufactured in a facility that processes peanuts.
Oh.
Yeah.
shit.
Wah, wah. Yeah. So that was kind of, it's unfortunate. It happened to me with M&Ms too.
Is it all involved with nuts? Is that
Really?
really
Well,
it?
I used to be able
use
to eat
peanut oil
M&Ms,
in
and then
them.
all of a sudden they introduced the peanut M&Ms,
Oh, they're
and
just.
so now they're manufactured in the same factory. And like, how many times have you had a bag full of M&Ms, and all of a sudden there's a peanut one in the bottom? It happens.
And
Yeah.
plus,
Trying to
like
kill
they
kids.
they use peanut oil on tons of different foods that like you wouldn't expect to like if you could like have an allergic reaction if you ate pizza, for instance. And like there's no peanut butter pizza anywhere, but still.
Oh yeah. So can I explain like why I was like in someone else's car and I did not like actually commit a crime?
Yeah, we'll give
So,
you,
like,
we'll give you
I
your
never did
opportunities
it.
to defend
Sharon's
yourself.
criminal past. All right, what happened in your words, allegedly?
So
Sharon?
okay, so during the summer, my friend and I drove to like Petco, and like we parked it. We parked in the parking lot, and we went back, and we got in. But we looked up, but my friend for some reason couldn't find like the ignition to like put her key in. It's like, where is it? And we looked at the back, and there was like, was there always like a bunch of papers at the back seat? And then like we realized like we were in a completely different car, and it just ended like fuck. And then
Sharon,
we had to
were
ran
you
back
and
out.
your friend like under the influence of anything at
No, it
this
was
time?
like daytime, and just like this guy just left his car unlocked, and we just like casually just like hopped in.
Wait,
and
but
we
she
were there.
also didn't have her key?
She had her key. She just kind of thought she accidentally left her own car unlocked, and I thought she just unlocked her car, and that's why I got in. And just like, yeah,
was it like a similar looking car?
It was it wasn't even. It was like black, but it was a completely different model. And it was like, oh god, like we should probably leave a note for this guy. And
Did you leave a note? Did you steal anything?
we did not steal anything. We didn't steal
They
anything
didn't have
because
like a Snickers bar or something?
no, they didn't have a Snickers
If they
bar.
had a Kit Kat bar, would you have stolen it?
Yes.
If they had a Twix bar, would you have
Oh,
stolen it?
Twix is
That's
actually my
left or
favorite
right
candy.
side?
Question.
I like.
Twix is
like
best.
I don't like that
Thicket.
they're making that a thing.
Also-
it doesn't matter.
All right, this has been like my boyfriend's question of Halloween. You know how when you get Twix in like the Halloween packs, there's only one bar.
Which side
Which
is
side does it come
Oh
from?
my gosh, question for
matter?
the ages.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a feud?
Maybe they combined their forces and like it's a mixture of one and the other.
No, in the
But
tw-
they're
in the-
arch enemies.
In the Twix verse, the two halves battle each other for dominance, and when one of them emerges victorious, he's put into the wrapper, hoping to find a better life, but he is tricked because he is instead consumed by humans. It's like that movie Sausage Party.
Well,
I did not know that that Twix had a cinematic extended universe.
They do.
Well, now we will never know because that's the end of our segment. And that is the end of our show.
Give us free stuff, Kit Kat.
Oh my God.
This has been another wonderful episode of Yak Back. Sorry to see it go. I'm your host, Christine Suelia. And if not, if you didn't like it, I mean, you know what I'm saying. I'm Jake Liberty. Good night.